Hey everybody, welcome. Today is Friday, so we're here with another video, but this one is live. So you get to make fun of me all you want. If you're watching this later, which many of you will do, just know that we're going to be talking today about Apple's upcoming press conference, talking about their streaming service. Streaming services are something that obviously we have some opinions about. So we're excited to see what they are going to bring to the table come next Monday. But for now, 2-3 days in advance, we're going to talk a little bit about maybe what we expect to see from them and frankly what we want to see them. I'm also going to talk about Disney's upcoming streaming service, which they will be launching later this year, probably sooner than we expect because of one detail that someone has picked up on. Anyway, so we'll be talking about those two things, but before we get to that, I just want to remind everybody that we are doing a giveaway right now. If you go check through our video archives and the how to watch all the MCU movies video that we did, I want to say it was last Friday, Bobby, last Friday? Last Friday, we did that video on how you can cheaply, or the most cheaply, I guess, watch all of the MCU movies. In that video, we've got a link to a TCL Roku TV giveaway. This is a 55-inch 4K TV, so it's a pretty darn good one. It's one that I actually use in my home. So go hit up that video. The description in there has a link. You go and do a few actions on our channel, like make a comment, subscribe to the channel, and you can get entered to win that TV. So I hope you all do that. I'll remind you periodically throughout the video that you'll be able to do that. But for now, for right now, let's talk a little bit about Apple's new streaming service. This is, well, let me put all my cards on the table here because I am not exactly what you would call an Apple fanboy. Now, I do like the products. This is being shot on an iPhone right now. But I do sometimes get kind of frustrated with Apple as a company and the way that they very intelligently built this ecosystem and everything works great within it. But then if you only have one foot inside, it kind of it defeats the purpose of a lot of their excellent machines, and there's this whole cult of personality, and so I have my issues with it. But I am still, even as an Apple skeptic, you might call me, I'm still interested in what this streaming service is going to offer, because while I do enjoy the whole cord-cutting thing that's going on right now and has been going on for a few years, it has a lot of frustrations. And you'll know this if you watched our DirecTV Now video. There's a lot of frustrating things going on with that service in particular and a couple of the other ones as well. So I'm interested to see if Apple will be able to break free of some of the patterns that we've seen with those services. So I am going to be responding to your comments, of course. So as we go through this video, make sure you hit the comments below. I'm monitoring that here. So I will do my best to respond to those as we go. Now, let's see, the first thing I want to talk about with Apple is original content. And this is going to be interesting because everybody has to produce original content now. I'm a little bit unsure of what to expect from this. They're bringing in all sorts of big names. They said that they've already spent $1 billion on producing original content. They're bringing in Steven Spielberg, and which is hilarious, by the way, given his recent Netflix comments. But Steven Spielberg, J.J. Abrams is on board to produce some original content for Apple's streaming platform. I hope this goes well, but I'm a person, kind of like Steven Spielberg himself has made a stink of recently. I'm a big fan of the theater experience, and so I hope that their content works well on the platform. But beyond that, they're going to be offering a lot of on-demand content as well. So they've talked about premium channels like HBO and Cinemax and Showtime, at least HBO and Showtime for sure, being able to offer those at a discounted rate on Apple's platform. And this is a really interesting way of doing things, and it kind of gets to something that I was talking about in that DirecTV Now video. I made some suggestions for how we as consumers might want a platform, a streaming platform to work. And one of my suggestions was to have a system where, let's say it's Apple. They have a platform that you pay a certain monthly amount for. just to get on the platform, and then you can go and make your other subscriptions, whether it's whether it's Netflix or HBO, ESPN Plus, and all of those subscriptions are made through this app, and then that allows you to kind of navigate in one place all the shows that you have access to, all the shows, all the movies, all the content that you have access to. I don't know that that's exactly how this is going to look, but this idea of the discounted rate on the premium channels is kind of indicative of something along those lines. I would like to see one of these platforms evolve to something like that in the future. You can do something like this with Roku's platform, where you subscribe to the different services, and then when you search for a show or a movie on the Roku platform, it'll tell you if that show or movie is available on which platform, and then you can go directly there. But it's not quite as integrated as I would like to see. So eventually I'd like to see them go in that direction. But for now, they are going to be doing their original content. They're bringing on some of these premium channels. They're also talking about doing live TV, which I'm really interested in and how that will look, because the rumored price for Apple's new platform is $15 a month. We'll see if that's accurate, but that seems about right for a streaming service like Netflix or Hulu. That seems kind of in the ballpark at least. But when you think about live TV, you think about the other services like Sling and Fubo and DirecTV Now and all those. Their prices are considerably higher than that, 3-4 times as much, because they have to pay licensing to all these different channels to get that content on their platform in these skinny bundles, as they like to call them. Yeah, they're skinny, but you're not going to watch all those channels. Nobody does. Anyway, so for $15 a month, how much live TV are we really talking about here? I'm not sure. I'll be interested to see what they are going to be doing with that. Now, there are more things to talk about, but again, I will just remind people, if you're just joining us, about the TCL Roku TV giveaway. There is a video that we did on how to watch all the MCU movies for cheap, so go hit up that video, look in the description below, and you can enter to win a TCL Roku 4K 55-inch TV. All you need to do is subscribe to this channel, leave a comment on that video. There are instructions there in that description. So hopefully you will go do that, because we want to give it away to somebody. We really do. And we will. So, okay, let's leave Apple behind for a moment. I may come back and talk about that, but I also want to talk about the new Disney Plus service that's going to be coming up later this year. It's been rumored that it would come up kind of in the fall or the winter of this year. I'm wondering if it's going to be sooner than that, because there is a quote from, I want to say was it Bob Iger that I'm thinking of, who said that Captain Marvel will be the first theatrical film to be exclusively available to stream online. So Disney Plus is going to be the only service where you'll be able to stream Captain Marvel. Well, Captain Marvel came out, what was that, Bobby, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Something like that. And so let's assume a theatrical run of at least 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, that they want to keep that exclusive in the theaters. They got to run up that box office score and make it look as impressive as possible, so they'll keep it in the theaters. Let's call it 2 months. Well, that came out early March, and so that would put us at early May, possibly, for a Disney Plus service. I would assume that we'll get some announcements, giving us a few weeks to prepare for it. But I'm wondering if it could be a little sooner than we think. Anyway, this Disney Plus service is another one that could be changing the face of streaming as we know it. Okay, that sounds maybe a little more dramatic than I mean, but it represents a possible evolution in streaming services. So Disney, if you're not aware, just completed, and I mean within 48 hours, they just completed their acquisition of 21st Century Fox for, what was the amount? $71 billion. $71 billion. I need a better job. People have all this money to throw around. I need I need to find some of that. Where do I get all this money? Anyway, $71 billion, and they purchased 21st Century Fox. So they've got not only the Disney library, and they also own ABC, so they got ABC's library. Now they own Fox as well. This could be an absolute behemoth of back catalog content. Stuff that we wanted to get from Hulu, which Disney owns a large stake in. But, sometimes it's frustrating when you're on Hulu and you want to watch something and they say, oh, yeah, we got the last 5 episodes of it. Or you can watch the latest season, but they don't give you the whole show. Anyway, what I would like to see from this, with all this content on this streaming service, Bobby, who's behind the camera, you can't see him. And that's really okay. That's really okay. Bobby and I were talking about what we want to see from this streaming service. And we're talking about the content. Frankly, all Disney properties, if all the Disney properties could be available in one place. So we're talking not just the obvious. There's the Disney Animation Studios. So you got everything from Snow White all the way to Frozen. What's the last Disney movie to come out? I don't know. Frozen 2 is coming up. I know that much at least. Anyway, but you got all these Disney Animation Studios films that you could put on this. Obviously, that's got to go on there. All the MCU movies, of course, we all want a place to watch those. The ABC back catalog. ABC's got a ton of shows that we're all interested in watching. Let's see, what are Modern Family? I love Modern Family. Who doesn't? Actually, a lot of people don't, but I do. I think it's hilarious. 21st Century Fox backlogs. Imagine if you could now watch every episode of The Simpsons, except for the Michael Jackson one that they just pulled, apparently. They're going to try to memory hole that one. But you get to watch all The Simpsons, and you get to watch all of Family Guy, and I don't know, you want to watch back episodes of 24 or something like that. There's a ton of Fox properties out there. So imagine a streaming service where you get access to all these. If you got that entire television backlog, just the television stuff, everybody's going to want to sign up for that. Everybody is going to want to sign up for that. I would, Bobby.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, okay, absolutely. So we don't have a price on this one yet, but Bob Iger did have a statement that said he wants to keep it a lot lower than what you would get from, say, Netflix. You know, Netflix, you're paying anywhere from $10 to $15 a month, somewhere around there. So he says he wants it substantially lower. Let's say they're charging $5 a month. Well, they would need, I did some math on this because I'm very math smart, you guys. If they charge $5 a month, they would need 16.6 million subscribers to bring in $1 billion in annual revenue just from this streaming service. So you can imagine if it were $6 or $7, how much higher that would go at that point. So it wouldn't take much for them to make this a huge enterprise, just revenue-wise, annually. So what else are we going to be getting on this streaming service? And this is why I say it may change the way that we think about or the landscape of streaming. Because Disney Plus, it won't have any of the live TV stuff, but it could start competing with the behemoths out there like Hulu and Netflix right now, because they're also going to be producing original content for this platform. If you recall, within the last 6 or 8 months or something, Netflix had to cancel all of their Marvel properties. So Daredevil, Jessica Jones, was it Luke Cage, The Defenders? What was the other one? It was terrible. Iron Fist. Iron Fist was terrible. They had to cancel all these, and everybody knew it was because this Disney Plus service was coming up. And so we'll see if they resurrect some of those shows or do something like that. But if they do, and they're doing good original content like that, most of that was good anyway, then they could really compete easily between the back catalog and the great live content based on Star Wars and Marvel properties and all the rest. Yeah, they could easily, right out of the gate, compete with Netflix and Hulu, give them a run for their money. So here's where the concerns come in, because there are some concerns. Well, actually, before I get to those, I've got Maurice in here. Says, I think, or I hope, Apple TV service will be a TV streaming service like Sling, etc. Sling, Hulu, what do you think? Apple TV, okay, so we're going, oh man, I've got to shift my mindset a little bit and get back to the Apple from Disney. I don't know. I was talking about this a little bit earlier in the video, maybe before you got here. I'm not sure if it will look just like Sling or Hulu, because those ones, you're paying 40, 45, 50 bucks a month for those live TV streaming services, in part because they have to license all those channels to deliver those to you. And so if they're paying, let's say they're paying, 50 cents a channel to license those or more, then they will bring you 60 channels. That's 30 bucks a month. Well, Apple TV, that's a product, Apple's streaming service, whatever it's going to be called, if they're only charging 15 bucks a month, which is the rumor, that would put it at a maximum of 30 channels. But that doesn't even, then we're not getting into the costs of producing the original content and that sort of thing. I assume they'll take a loss up front, but I can't imagine it would be so big that they would be able to provide 60, 70, 80 channels in addition to original content and all that for 15 bucks a month. I'm not sure I see that happening, but who knows? What I would love is if they charged me 15 bucks a month and they said, okay, you get all this on-demand content and now you just pick 5 channels. Pick 5 channels that you want. Whatever they are, you add them on there, and that's in your $15 a month cost. That would make sense to me. Oh man, talking too much. So yeah, maybe it would be something like that. Either way, there are some ways that TV might change going forward with services like this, and you can bet there will be a lot more. We've got not just Disney Plus, but there's already ESPN Plus, which is kind of a supplementary sideshow to ESPN. So it's not actual ESPN content, but it's kind of stuff on the side. It's great, but it's only $5 a month. Are they going to be making money on that? I don't really know. But with all these services coming up and being able to kind of cherry pick and do a la carte, it could change the way we look at TV, just because, frankly, we won't be able to afford as much TV as we used to. With the old models going away, think about your Xfinity TV bundle or DirecTV or whatever you use to watch TV 15, 20 years ago, or even 5 years ago, then it's going to, with those services, it's going to bring a ton of channels together, 300 channels or 500 channels, and you're paying $100 a month for it. Well, you're not going to be able to do that anymore. You're going to be able to, if you want to pay $100 a month, you're going to be able to get Disney streaming service plus Netflix and Hulu and Sling TV, and you're going to be spread out over all these different services. So it's going to be an interesting way of doing things. The other things that may change, well, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to get into that unless maybe in a future video. Anyway, let's start wrapping this up, you guys. Is the Apple announcement or the Disney announcement the death of live TV as we know it? No, it's not. It's not the death of live TV. Some people have been throwing that around. Radio has been around for generations at this point, and it's always evolving and changing, but radio is always around. Live TV will always be there, but it may not look in 5 years the way that we were used to when we were kids or teenagers. So it will be a little bit different at that point. So before we sign off, I hope you guys are excited for that announcement, the Apple announcement. We're going to be looking at that pretty closely. If there's anything huge and earth-shattering, we'll be back here on Monday with some roundups of the announcements that they make there. Otherwise, don't forget that we're doing that TCL Roku TV giveaway. It's a great TV. It's the one that I use at my house, and we're giving, not the one I use, and you're not getting my TV, but we're going to buy someone a TCL Roku TV, 55 inches, 4K. All you need to do is go to our MCU video that we released last Friday, or after this video wraps up, we'll put something in the description, a link to the giveaway there. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel, comment on that video, share it. There's a few different actions you can take to get entries to win that TV. So I hope you guys all do that. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. Make sure you hit the comments if you have any other thoughts, feelings, predictions, hopes, dreams, fears for Apple's new streaming service, Disney's new streaming service, and we'll see you guys